Hi, Miss Susie. It's a new year, new day. How have you been?
I'm great. How have you been?
Really good. It's a great start to the year. And
Oh,
it's yoga month on my podcast. So all yoga all the time this whole month.
that's awesome. Super fun for you. It's yoga all the time for me, all the time. So,
That's
but
fantastic.
that's fun. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I kind of started this yoga journey with you, actually, which is kind of fun. It's kind of the origin of that. It's been awesome. And I've been learning a lot about just different aspects of yoga. And I want to pick up where we left off last time.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about like social media and yoga, but I want to get into music and yoga
Okay.
today.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Of
All right.
course.
I think you're a big music lover, right? You like really care about the music that happens with your yoga. Let's
Yeah.
talk
I
about that.
just, yeah. I don't know. I love music, and I think like a lot of people love music, and it can really set the vibe for a class too. So when I was teaching at a studio, my playlists were very curated to the movements that you're doing. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, I just really like pairing up yoga with music. And I collect vinyl, and when I was posting my practice on Instagram, my vinyl would be in the background, and I was like adding in my favorite tunes as well, and it just kind of like took off. So it's like kind of how my brand started was with yoga and music together. So yeah, I don't know, I just love it. It's just like another layer to the whole teaching aspect of yoga.
So tell me about vinyl. That's amazing. Like, what vinyl records are you collecting? Like, do you have a genre you're really interested in? Or?
Um, I'm all over the place. The only like genre I really don't listen to is like country music, but
Mhm.
I can do like southern rock. So it really just depends. But I really lean heavily towards old school hip hop and like R&B. So like a lot of 90s vinyl is what I have, but I love classic rock as well. Like I have Pink Floyd and Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin. Like I've got a few of those vinyl. But yeah, I don't have as big of a collection as what I would like to have because I move kind of frequently, and it's so annoying having to move a lot of vinyl, and I don't have like the storage space for it either, but like I'm getting to the point where it's like whatever, I'm just going to keep buying as
Yeah.
much as I want. But I have a decent size though, and they're all like very classic albums, like albums that I love. My most recent one that I got is, what is it? I think it's LL Cool J, his Mr. Smith album, and I love that album. So I feel like that album is like overlooked when you look at his discography by people. So but yeah, so I just love a lot of like R&B and hip hop. I would say that's the majority of what I like to collect and what I listen to. I really like neo soul music too. So like
Mm,
Erica Badu,
love it.
love her, and she's on my wish list for what I want for one of my vinyls next. So it's like I've got like a little wish list of stuff that I want. So
I love
um,
that.
yeah.
Man, you're speaking my language now, Susie. Like,
Yeah,
these are my
awesome.
favorite artists
Yeah,
of all
awesome.
time.
I love
I mean,
that.
Erica Badu. I mean, I was in college when she came out, and
Yeah.
man, I remember I was at a step show in college, and they were playing a song, and I was like, "What is this?" And they were like, "This is a new artist, Jill Scott." I mean, Jill Scott's amazing, and I was like,
Amazing.
and that her song. I mean, her music is just so transformative,
I
and that's
know.
the neo soul. And then I got into music, Soul Child, all this stuff. I'm still into it, man. But I noticed you like Tribe Called Quest. I think I know that you like Tribe
Yeah,
Called Quest.
yeah, I've got what's the album called?
Low
The
End
Low End.
Theory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got that album on vinyl. There's a couple others I want, but I love that album. Like that's what so all of this stuff was what I was listening to in high school, and I just kind of went down a huge rabbit hole when I was like a freshman. Like I just one day just was like listening to, like Jay-Z and Nas and Biggie, and it just went down a whole thing. And it like made me, and I was already listening to like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd at the
Yep.
time as well. And like, I don't know, those are really like when I think about what started this whole thing, it's really like classic rock and hip hop. That's
Yeah.
what started, my whole like, let me find more.
Yeah.
But Erica Badu, though, she is amazing. And it's just like really feel good music, Like I love listening to her in the morning, especially.
Yeah.
Like she's one of the artists that I'm like, I will start my day with you,
Love that.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that. I have a recommendation. I don't know if you already know this artist, older, Belial. He's pretty good too. Really
Sorry,
good.
what?
Belial. Belial.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
check. I love like being told more people. I'm like, yes.
Well, his
uh,
famous song is Soul Sister. It's just an amazing song. It's so
yeah.
good. But I think his albums are really good,
Yeah,
actually.
I wonder if I've heard some stuff and I just don't realize that it's who it is, because I always have stuff playing like on Spotify, and sometimes I'm like, who is this? But then I don't go and check, and it just goes and plays to the next
Yeah.
song. But yeah, I love that you have the same taste in music. It's so fun to like talk about it with people.
Well, especially neo soul, like for like a long time, I've been a huge neo soul fan, and I just don't know a lot of people that are into it. Honestly.
So I feel like, I don't know, it's almost like you have to stumble upon it, or like know someone that listens to it too, and then you'll be introduced. But I mean, it reminds me of like a really funky R&B type of vibe, and there's so many people that like R&B, but I can see why some people just aren't like in the mood to hear like that, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I think some people would be shocked to realize what is considered neo soul, and like
Yeah.
some songs that are, um, under that genre. But I don't know. I think there's just not a whole lot of artists too. It's like a smaller category. So it's just not as big as like hip hop or
Yeah.
rap or whatever, So it's kind of like on the back burner a little bit.
Do you ever incorporate like specifically like neo soul or hip hop into your yoga? I know there's like hip hop yoga and things like trap yoga. Do you ever like do that? I don't think I've seen it on your
I mean,
videos. Like,
that's what I practice too. Like I don't really have specific playlists for yoga for me. I just have playlists that I like to listen to, and then I'll do yoga too to that. Or I'll throw on like something random. But yeah, like if you look at my Instagram, all of the reels that I post and like videos, it's always paired with music in the background. And sometimes it'll be like Mob Deep.
love that.
And people will be like, oh, you need to post this more. Cause like some people are like, no one's doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, I like a lot of like East Coast rap. I love West Coast too, but like I like the gritty, like East
Yeah,
Coast
yeah.
90s hip hop. Like I love it. And so when you look at my page, it'll range from like that to like more West Coast, and then throw some R&B in there. I love instrumental, like lo-fi,
Me
jazzy type
too.
of stuff too. Like I've got like a 15-hour long playlist of that. So, so you'll see that too, like on my, I've got two Instagrams. I've got like my main page, and then I've got my business yoga page where it's more like teaching on there. So yeah, it's definitely a part of one, what I post in my brand, but just like that's what I listen to at home.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just how it started. I was like, I didn't think about what song to pair with. Like sometimes I'd be like, this doesn't really match. Like the song that's in the background isn't really matching my yoga flow.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, whatever. Like I don't even care. Sometimes I'll change the music to something I like that does kind of match the movement and whatever. But sometimes I'm like, whatever, that's the song I was literally listening to. And people like that type of authenticity is what I'll say.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you're hitting like Mob Deep, and something like that. That's like you're gonna
I
catch a
just
different crowd, which I think is good. You should like throw some cool G rap in
do.
there or something. I was like,
I think that's also why there's a lot of men like on my page, because I don't know a lot of women that listen to that, like probably from New York, yeah, but
mhm.
like people here where I'm from, I don't know a lot of like girls that are listening to that type of hip
Yeah.
hop. And so I get a lot of men that'll be like, how do you know about this?
Yeah.
Or they think I'm like 20 years old, and they're like, how old are you? Like this wasn't even out when you were born or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, I mean, it is like an album that I was not old enough to hear when it came out, but
Yeah.
that's what most of the music is that I like am truly in love with. I love a lot of new school stuff too, like nowadays stuff, but even some of the like new age rappers where you don't even know what the hell they're saying. There are some songs where I'm like, I like this. Like I mean, I'm just like all over the place. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really fun to do yoga to music like that. It like makes me have more energy and like want to keep going.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Um, but yeah, you're right though. I do attract like a different type of crowd. But like some people are like, I came for the music,
Yeah.
stayed for the yoga, like because then they're like, oh, this is kind of cool to like see it paired up. And I don't know, it's just like one other thing I like to share and
Yeah.
pair with, you know.
I
It
was thinking
goes,
it'd be cool, like to do like the low end theory. That's such a great album for yoga. Just
oh,
the beats, the
I know
vibes,
it's so good.
but like imagine if you did a whole album of yoga for like, hey, we're gonna run the whole album of low end theory and
Yeah.
create a yoga routine that goes the entire album for
Yeah,
that.
so I like have had, of course, that idea before. You can do it in a studio, for instance, or like it's a lot easier to do it with like an event or something. When
Yeah.
it comes to like the internet, it's like copyright, copyright,
That's
copyright.
true. That's true.
So that's why you'll find like, yes, I use music on Instagram because you can add it to your reels and stuff. And like YouTube, I never use that music in the
Yeah.
background. You'll see the vinyl, and it is like really annoying because I'm like, the artist can take a cut. I don't care. Like, all I just stuff. And I have seen there is like, I don't know, I think there's some songs that you're able to use,
Yeah.
because I have seen some pages where they still have ads going, they're still monetized, and if you look in like the description, it'll say like YouTube music, and it'll say the song that it is, and it's like a mainstream really
Yeah.
popular song. And if they're still having ads ran, then they're still monetized. So I'm like, well, somehow you can do it, or maybe it's just some select songs. But I actually do have like a little series that I want to do starting this year that I'm not going to like really talk about or give
Hmm.
too many details, but it does incorporate like my vinyl and yoga practice. It just is really annoying because it's like I haven't decided really about the background music quite yet. Like, do I want it to be where I curate a playlist and like have no music in the background and they can play that while I teach, like something of that nature, or have it set up how I have now and just like give a playlist in general, be like, here
Yeah.
you go, enjoy. But I have an idea for like a series that is like a continuous one where it's like part one, part two, part three, and give people something to look forward to and kind of have that be my thing. But
Yeah.
I just need to tweak it a little bit, like
Yeah.
figure out a couple more details. But I'm excited for it because I think that's gonna be probably on my YouTube channel. And I don't know, we'll see. Like, it would be nice to be able to have a lot of it on my channel and then like maybe some exclusive episodes like
Yeah.
and my subscription option that I'll have soon, but we'll see. We will see.
You'll be interesting. Like if maybe this is your thing. I don't know. Don't give it away. People, we're
Yeah,
not giving it away. But have you
yeah.
ever thought of like collaborating with a specific artist on like doing yoga to their album?
fun. It would be so fun to do that. I haven't actually thought about reaching out because I don't think they'll respond to me. I
Why? Why do you think
don't
that?
know. I just feel like I'm like, it'll probably end up going to their PR person, which is like fine. But I wonder maybe if they look at my YouTube and they'll be like, oh, well, she actually
Of course
like,
they'll say, yeah.
So it'd be really cool to have something set up like that because if I were to get it with one artist, then um that could maybe get the ball rolling to do it again with someone else. And that could be kind of like a
I can help you with this,
collaboration.
actually. I could definitely help you with this.
But you know people? You
I
know
know a
people?
lot of people. I know a lot of people, actually. And
Yeah.
actually, funny enough, my brother he isn't famous, but he is an incredibly well-known hip hop artist.
Oh,
And
nice.
then he's an independent hip hop artist. He does it full time. That's his job, literally. And he does
Nice.
music for
Okay.
ESPN, Disney, all that. But he's like a '90s like hip hop type
Yeah.
artist. And
Yeah.
he
That's
he
probably why he hasn't taken off because these people nowadays want to hear his 2022 stuff. They're like, they don't want to hear the boom bap rap beats. I'm like, come on, that's what we need to hear. Okay. Like,
no, they want to hear guys who mumble their words, and it's like
I know.
yeah,
And some of those songs though, the ones where I can understand at least some of the stuff they're saying. Some stuff I'm like, I just don't know their slang. Like I don't know what that means. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of new age rappers that I do like though. They're just not in rotation as much.
yeah, no, but I have to talk to you about this off camera, man, because
Of
actually I
course.
was thinking, I was like, I have an idea. I always have ideas, man. It's
Right.
like, but I was like, why don't you just connect with an artist, and like, and
Yeah.
because you have a thing, they have a thing, and it would be a dope collaboration because who's doing that? Who's
There are
doing that?
like some artists actually that are not at like they're popular, but they're not as like big where I could see them actually being like, oh yeah, let's partner with her, like like being even more willing. I've thought about it. I'm just like, okay, yoga people, don't steal my freaking idea. And that's also why the series that I do have coming out, I'm like, I just hope that like it stays like kind of being my thing. I love to like inspire people, but that is like a hard thing about social media sometimes. And that's also my ego being a part of it. But it's also like when someone just completely rips off what you're doing and like they don't add their own little twist or flair to it is like such a little punch to the gut. Like
Yeah,
it really is. It's like, dang, like that's really not cool. And you see it happen all the time, especially with like in the fashion industry. But
hmm,
like will come up with clothing and then these big brands will steal the design. It's like a huge thing. And I'm just like, man, at least tweak it a little bit. Like, don't
yeah,
just jack it. Like, I have seen people on YouTube literally do the same type of video that I'm doing. Like, I'm talking like the same sequence. The thumbnail will be the same. It's just their
what?
phone. The title of the video will be the same. I'm like, you got to tweak it a little bit. But again, like I understand inspiring people, but like there really is a difference between being inspired and completely imitating someone.
Yeah,
And it like as a creator, like it just kind of sucks sometimes. But I'm excited just because I do think it comes off authentic since it is me the one creating it. I feel like when someone else copies, you can kind of tell eventually. You might not be able to tell right away, but it just might not come off as authentic once you find the source, especially. But I don't know, it's just interesting. But I'm always so weird about ideas sometimes. I'm like, God, someone's just gonna go and steal my shit. And I think part of it is because sometimes I don't get consistent with my stuff and I like take a little break and I'm like, oh, I gotta stay consistent so they know it's mine. You know what I mean?
well, you have a
It
dilemma.
happens.
You have a dilemma though, which I think is interesting, which I also think which makes this series that we're doing together interesting because it's almost a timestamp of how you're feeling about your
Yeah.
YouTube content over
Yeah.
time. Like last time we talked, you were like, I don't know, like I need to be more
No.
consistent, but like maybe I won't do it one day and stuff. But now you have this different idea. And
Well, so I've had like my whole phone is just like full, like my notes section is just like full of my ideas that I just haven't wrote down. And actually, like my little table over here
yeah.
is I have these little post-it notes, not the tiny ones, okay? The ones that are like the sheets, you know? Well, not like a full paper. I hope you know what I'm talking
I
about.
know
It's
what you're talking
like,
about. Yeah.
yeah, okay, love them. They're perfect size for me for writing out a yoga class and like ideas and whatever. My whole table over here has like probably 30 of them just laid out because I have just like so much stuff going on up here.
Yeah.
Um and they're like separated in sections for like you know what like the similar ones or whatever. So I have all these ideas. It's just, you know, I really just think about long term, but I do
Yeah.
think right now I'm going to just embrace YouTube and what I'm
Yeah.
doing
You
and
should.
like, you know, just kind of go with it since it has been something that's kind of just fallen in my lap. Like it's kind of like, okay, well, it's here for me. I shouldn't word it that way because it is like I've put in so much work behind creating content and my yoga practice. So it is like that's where the work has came in. It's just that for me has made it easier to gain a following since I already had that skill set
Yeah.
versus like someone who's just starting off a channel and um may still be building their skill set, like, you know, and people just like to watch yoga anyway, but that's also like a part of it. But I don't know, like I do have a lot of ideas though, and I think it'd be really fun to do like travel content since I do travel a
Yeah.
lot. So that's something I'm going to play around with this year. I have a cruise coming up next month with my family, and I'm gonna spend the entire cruise like documenting, like vlogging, like getting some yoga classes recorded,
Yeah.
and like, I want to like do that like on every trip that I go
Yeah.
on. Um, I have another trip in April, so like I'm just excited to see what I come up with, but I really have to like kick my ass into gear sometimes because it's just like one overwhelming, but two, it's like I think I get one nervous about like sharing my content because it's not gonna be I can't please everyone, but I don't know, it's just like I just have seen, I've said it earlier, I just have seen people then copy my stuff, and I'm like, dang, that's just a little discouraging,
Yeah.
but you know, whatever. And it is the internet, so like I have to expect that, but other creators deal with it too. I mean, I follow women that like create art or like do yoga as well, and the same thing has happened to them, but it's just like you just have to like push through it. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but it is interesting though, because I actually thought about this, how like in a year or two, if I go back and watch these or listen, like it'll be really interesting to hear like my thought process. And it's also interesting to just see the progression of how my YouTube channel, like other people don't see it as much because I did delete a lot of videos, but like I do have a couple videos on there that are older, and like just you can just tell like the editing, the voiceover, like the camera itself, like
Mm-hmm.
you can just tell the progression between
Sure.
2 years ago to now. And it's just another thing like this, hearing my mentality now versus,
Yeah.
you know, a year from now. I'm really interested to see like how I feel literally a year from now, like
Yeah.
next part of 2024.
That will be interesting because I think your mindset is going to continue to move forward in what you're doing. Like, and you have the other dilemmas, like your channel is growing regardless. That's
Okay,
kind of the crazy thing,
yeah.
It doesn't, even if you don't put out the videos, it's just growing. You've
That's
reached
why I
that
feel like I
point.
should do something. I feel like I can't just let that go to waste. You know, like I don't know. It just feels like someone else would be like, "What the hell? Like, give me your channel then." Like, you know. And I'm so grateful for it. It's just such a weird thing sometimes. Like, you
Yeah.
know, because I really, you know, my age, I grew up with. I had a cell phone in middle
Yeah.
school and stuff, but like social media wasn't a thing until after high school for me.
Yeah.
Really, like MySpace and Facebook, but like we didn't
Hmm.
have Instagram, okay? Like that wasn't a
Yeah.
thing. and Twitter had just started and it was so basic that you just saw what people at your school were tweeting.
Yeah.
So it was like so it's gone from like, I've gone from that, like seeing that, and then going through college with Instagram. And then I just feel like things have changed so much in the last like 3 years. Like COVID really pushed the whole content creation, and like there's so many content creators now than ever before. And I don't know, it's just things have just changed a little bit, you know? So it's just really interesting. And I feel like that's also why I struggle, because it's like, I do like how things were having so much of a presence versus having one. But again, I almost would rather like do this and get paid than like sit at a desk job like I was. That's kind of what I remind myself when I have these like thoughts. And like, I don't know, this isn't forever. It doesn't have to be. Like, if I really want to go do something else, like I have the power to go do that, you know? Like if I want to be like, quit my channel next month, I can do that. And it's just nice having like knowing like, you know what, it's always there if you really want to. Like it's just nice knowing like you should stay here, yes, continue it, but like if you ever get to a point where you're just over it, like it's not like you're stuck here forever, like with anything.
I've talked seriously, I'm talking to all these people in yoga, and a lot of them influencers like yourself. You are definitely the only person that has this mentality. Like, you're like, I could do it or not. I mean, I don't know. Everybody else is trying to shoot up to millions and stuff. You're like, I don't know.
No, like I get it. And I feel like some people look at me like, well, why wouldn't you want 1 million followers? But I think people that have that mentality haven't had a following, like they haven't experienced it, or maybe, and like some people, maybe when they started getting a following, they loved it. Okay. Like for me, I loved it at first, but then it's just a lot. Like I don't know. I'm sensitive. People are mean, and it's just
true.
a lot. And like learning to have tough skin and not care, it has been a journey because I just care. Like it's just hard not to. But you know, and some of these people, sometimes I don't care and I'm like, you guys are stupid, but like it really like waves. Okay. So and don't get me wrong, like I think it would be cool to like have a lot of followers who like are inspired by me and whatever. It's just you give up a lot with that too, like a lot of privacy. Now I do think though, like there is a big difference between having 10 million subscribers on YouTube and being a movie star. Okay. So it's like movie stars, music artists, ones that are like very famous and popular. I don't ever want that. I don't want to be that level famous, and I don't think I'm gonna be, which is great. But at the same time, the internet is just like, it's just crazy. You know, it's a whole other like world. And so it's just kind of, it can just get kind of like weird knowing that you've got all these eyes on you and you don't even know who they are. And, you know, majority of views come from people that aren't even subscribed to your channel.
Most definitely.
And like, it's just kind of a weird thought. And, again, though, like I wouldn't mind having my page grow really big. It's just, I don't know. Then it makes you almost feel like you can't quit. You know what I mean? If I had 10 million subscribers, I would feel like I'm never allowed to quit my channel. I can't, even if I'm 60, it would be weird, you know? But because I think about this. This is another like side thought. We haven't had like a generation do this and then grow old. Okay. So it's like, I just think it'll be really interesting to see what happens. Personally, I'm going to want to probably retire and not post all the time. I'm going to want to like go travel and hang with my people and like do, you know, I do what I want, but who knows? Okay. Like who knows what the world's even going to be like then, but like, it is something I've thought about. Like, do we really see people posting when they're 65? Like, I mean, come on now. I mean, there are people.
There are people doing it,
but it's usually like really famous movie stars. You know what I mean? Like, my grandma's not posting. She's not taking photos. talking on her stories and stuff. Like, she's not doing that. There are random TikTok stars that like they'll be like everyone's grandma,
Yeah.
that if you're on TikTok. Now, I'm not even on TikTok like that. I'm like kind of anti-TikTok,
Me
but
too. Me too.
good. You know what? Love to hear it. Love
Yeah.
that.
I'm not about TikTok at all. At all.
I don't, I don't get good vibes from it. I do have a profile just so that if someone's copying my stuff, I can send a copyright request.
Oh,
But
okay.
before it was an issue where it was like I couldn't send in a report without like having a profile. Maybe I was doing it wrong. I don't
Mm.
know, but it was extremely annoying. So I literally was like, whatever, I'll make a profile. And then I posted a few videos. And I do think it's good for business and stuff. Like if you want to gain exposure, it can be good for that. But I'm just like, I'll just do it on Instagram and another way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just something about it that doesn't sit right with me. But yeah, it's kind of funny hearing you tell me that I'm the only one that feels this
You're
way.
literally the only one. I mean, I've talked to so many people.
Watch them get a million followers and then they will maybe one day be like, you know what, this is kind of a lot. Now it really depends because some people like thrive off of that. I am like an introvert, extrovert, so I
Mhm.
really like to just be alone and
Yeah.
recharge. And if I get on my phone and I get on YouTube, like I can't do that unless I completely ignore the fact that I have people always watching my content. Um,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like it doesn't make me feel like super anxious or anything. It's just like I just think about it sometimes. Like they're like sometimes I get jealous of my friends that don't ever post and they're like just
Interesting.
on vacation and like soaking in their vacation. They're not having to go record content. You know
What
what
is
I mean?
happening here? I was like,
I just it's like I think with everything in life, balance is key.
yes.
Moderation is key. And I do think I have found a good balance of like being able to create content and whatever, and then know when I need to take a step back and not care if I have to take a step back.
Yeah.
After taking a break last year, like that really helped me be like, I just need to do what's best for me. And I think it'll get easier as I get older to just because, and that might sound weird, but I say that to an extent um, because if I have a family and kids and whatever, that's going to bring a whole other type of crowd. And I would love to like have that type of community with other women and stuff. So like that is something I also think about. So like as much as it's like weird that there are so many eyes on my page, there are a lot of good aspects that come with it.
Yeah.
So and one of those is like creating a community and connecting with other people. So yeah, that's kind of probably what keeps me going, to be
Yeah.
really honest.
Do you connect with the other yoga content creators ever?
Sometimes a lot of them are not near me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't live like in California or Florida,
Yeah.
and some of the creators I follow, they're like in the UK, like they're not even like in this country. But I've been asked to collab on some stuff. Some of the content that I've asked, or I'm not me asking, but I've been asked to collab on is kind of geared towards the sexy side. And like at the time, I was like more like willing and open to it, but I never ended up collabing and whatever. And I'm just like past that now. So
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know, it'd be nice to collab with other teachers and stuff. It just hasn't happened. I feel like maybe this will be the year of collaborations. We'll see. I also think part of it is just me. Like I'm just like such a loner. Like I just do my own thing. You know what I mean? Like I've got my friends and whatever, but I've got a very small circle of people that I hang out with and I like it that way. I don't know. But I've got friends that do yoga as well, but they don't want to like be recorded.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
collab with them, they're not even creators or whatever, which would still be fun. But there are a few girls though that I would like to collaborate with. Some of them aren't even like super focused on yoga, but more focused on fitness, and then we could complement each other.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool to do like a live class with like both of us hosting. And it would actually be cool even if they were really into yoga. It could be like I teach half the class, they teach the other
Yeah.
half, like that. So you can get a feel for both of us and just like see both teachers and whatever. So I've had these ideas. It's just like I think I just get overwhelmed.
You
Like
got
I
all
have
these ideas.
ideas, you know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, I need to just check one off at a time instead of trying to tackle it all at once because that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Which is I feel like I tend to do. It's like, oh, I'm gonna start this, and I start them all, and then I never actually finish one because it's too much, you know. It's like I gotta just choose one and then
Yeah. I mean, it's been interesting, like meeting people like yourself, and like I immediately thought of like this lady, Cha Wild. She's a yoga instructor. She got banned on TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, sorry, YouTube. And
which
huh?
what she do you know what she did?
She
Why did
didn't
she get
tell
me?
me, but I noticed she's into nude yoga. Not that she posts any of that. I think she has like an
Probably just
OnlyFans or something.
posted like I mean, some of my videos get flagged for being
Right.
uh, like you have to be 18 or older to log in. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just in a bikini. Like it's
Yeah.
nothing crazy. You should see the other videos posted. And I like, and then I'm kind of like, whatever, like it, but like she was probably just posting a little too up close
Mm,
to her stuff. Even if she's got clothing on, it's like
yeah.
they know, like people will report it, you know.
Yeah.
But if you do it too many times, then they will
Yeah.
just ban you. So,
But you guys are
but
similar to me, like your approach to your channels. Like
mhm.
it's a very similar approach. Like she was not posting much, but it was a pretty large channel. She's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
just whenever I feel it. It's kind of like it's like this very reluctant influencing. And
Yeah, I
she's
don't know.
great,
I feel
man.
like it's interesting because YouTube at first like wasn't my main source of income and now it is. And
Yeah.
I think that's why I want to like not just put it
Yeah.
on the back burner. I don't know, like I love like making videos and like editing and whatever. And that's actually what I'm gonna invest into this year is like
Mm-hmm.
learning how to do video editing with
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Not really for my yoga videos as much for like classes, but like for other fun content that I want to
Sure.
do. But um I I mean it sounds like what's the word? It just comes off as like arrogant almost like, oh yeah, I have this channel, but I still post on it and I still get all these followers. Like that sounds so bad.
It's
But then
funny
it's
that you
not,
think about it that way.
it's like it's really not. I can't help but laugh because that's like I just know people will hear it or watch this and be like, this like, but it's like I don't know. It's not my fault that old content gains traction for the third
Exactly.
time. You know, it's like it's just what happens. Like I have a video right now that is gaining traction, and it was from like a year ago, year and a half, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But that's just how YouTube is. But
Of
yeah,
course it
like
is.
you know, I will say like I'm definitely going to start posting on YouTube more this year, but it'll probably be like my main thing. Same with Instagram. I'm gonna get back on being consistent, but
That's the theme.
YouTube is more like incentivized because I make money. I don't make
Right.
money on Instagram, so I
Right.
just
Right.
enjoy posting on there sometimes.
Yeah.
And I do want to post more on there because people that's like where my following started. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like kind of funny hearing like uh being similar to the other girl, like, oh yeah, I just post what I want because it is
Yeah.
kind of like now there are days where I'm like, okay, the views are getting lower. It means the money's not rolling in as much. So you got to go and post something.
But the honesty is important. Like I think a lot of people don't understand how the creator thinks who is monetizing, right? They don't hear from you. They just see your videos and your yoga
Yeah,
video. This is any influencer. And that's the
right.
point is a lot of people who aspire or who are just on your similar journey, they want to know how you think. They want to
Yeah.
understand like that you have a reluctancy about it. Like that's
Right.
that's reality. Like,
Yeah. I think some people have watched a couple of the past videos we've done
yeah,
and left like a couple comments, and they're like, oh, I wouldn't expect that or whatever, or they're like, oh, thanks for opening up about that. And so I do know people appreciate it. I will say sometimes I get so nervous after I hit that publish button when
yeah.
we post these. I'm like, oh God, this is a vulnerable moment. But
You should embrace it. I'm telling you, I see those comments
it's
too, you
good.
know.
It's good. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I think about because like I can't help it. And
Yeah,
every single video that I post, there's always someone who dislikes it within like the
of
first 2
course.
minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? Who has my post notifications on who just goes to dislike it? Because, and it shouldn't bother me, but some days I'm like, there's nothing to hate about this video.
I
You know what
know, but some people just
I mean?
haters. That's all they do is they like hating on things. Like,
Someone called me a fake yogi on
no, come on. That's
the
crazy.
other day. I think because I said I wasn't vegan, and I was just like,
We talked about that. Like, yeah.
I I don't really know what to say to you.
Yeah.
I also had someone like, I don't know, this happened on Instagram. Someone basically gave me crap for like using rap music in my yoga videos, and I
Yeah.
was just like, I don't even know. I There's so many other things to get mad at. It's just how I feel about
I
it. And
know.
I'm also kind of like, there's people from India who comment on my stuff and don't have an issue. So if you want to like have an issue and start to like talk about the whole like where the roots are with yoga and like how I'm a white person teaching,
Right.
like throwing in there, it's just like, it's just, you know, it's just a little ridiculous some days,
Sure.
but that's not common. I think that's probably the only time that's ever happened to me was once where
Yeah.
someone was like, don't use foul language in the background. And I'm like, I really didn't even pay attention to the snippet of the song that I chose. It was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I chose a song because that's what I wanted, and
Yeah.
I just threw it on there. But I don't know. Yeah, it's
I think
just,
you're doing the right thing, honestly. And
dude.
let's be, I like being totally honest. Obviously, these interviews or these discussions, they're not going to be your highest viewed videos.
Right?
Duh,
No.
because people want to see you do yoga. But also, there are a lot of people that want to know what you're about outside, like the
Yeah.
deeper thoughts. But you know what? I think people are not used to that. Like I had a guy when the last video we posted, I was like, oh, this is great. You know, we're getting deeper. And the guy goes, no, thanks. I'll pass on this type of stuff. Like, you know, it's not for everyone because that probably person's probably like, I just want to see her do yoga. I don't want to hear what she has to say. So what?
Yeah.
Fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like,
And
it's like,
people say that. I think there was one guy who like said that, I think, and I go, oh, we don't care. And he goes,
what
well,
does it
no one
matter?
cares about. He said like, and I didn't see this because I think I like hid him from my channel or something. Like,
Oh, okay.
and that's basically blocking them. And but then I saw it pop up like, because I'll like go and check my comments randomly, and it was like in the hidden comments
Yeah.
section area. And so I went and looked, and he basically was like, well, no one cares to hear about what you and him have to say. And I'm thinking, why do you care to even like let me know that? Like,
Right.
you really cared because you clicked
Why
it.
are you
So
commenting about it? Yes,
it's
like
so weird. People are so weird. I don't know.
no, and people have to get used to the rhythm of, but everybody that I've talked about it, they're like really into it because I think a lot of people want to know your thought process behind influencing. Honestly, everyone wants to know about it. They just like hating about it because a lot of people want to be you. They want to be where you're at, and they're jealous too, man. But they can't see that you actually feel like this. They think you're supposed to be
Yeah.
the arrogant influencer that you're. Oh, look, my
Yeah.
channel's growing even without me posting. Oh, it was like,
Yeah,
oh,
or like, oh, she's just this dumb, cute
oh, she's
woman making
stupid.
money
She
off
must
my
be stupid.
body. I'm just like, all the men that say comments like that to me, I'm like, if you were me, you would be doing the same thing. Probably
Exactly.
even worse. So I don't even want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. And I think some guys that say stuff like that, they are literally jealous that they aren't able to do that. And I'm like,
Exactly.
No one said you couldn't go and get ripped and take your shirt off and go lift weights for the ladies on YouTube. No one said you couldn't do that. Or you'll have hella men watching you because they want to look like you. Like that's what would happen. But it's just, I don't know. It's like the guys that hate on women that do what I do are the ones watching.
They're the ones blowing up your
I'm like, you're the
YouTube
reason
views.
why I'm able to do this.
You're literally feeding this woman's income by doing like being hateful.
Yeah.
Like,
and like I totally get like some of the poses and movements, whatever, or the way I do them because I add a little like flair to it. Like, yeah, there's no difference to that than like dancing in a sexy way. Yeah. Like you see in like a class being taught on there.
Right.
Plenty of videos like that. I think it's just really easy to hate because it's the internet.
Yeah, so it's just easy to hate.
Doing this like beach yoga on the beach, people like compliment you in a good way. They're not like giving you dirty looks.
Yeah,
like
no, come on.
It's like the stuff that gets said doesn't get said in person. And
of course.
You know, and they know that too. Like they get, but it is, you're right though. It is nice to like have them see a different side of me. I think, I don't know, like these really do help bring out my personality a little bit. Some of my friends are always like, you're funny, you need to talk more. I'm like, there's only, I don't know what to say. You know, I like, if you ask me stuff, I'll talk, but I'm not good at like, let me hop on my story today.
Yeah, no, I noticed that like with you, but that's why I felt like I saw your videos. I was like, you know what? I'm like, folks like this need to like tell their story and be talk more, because I think it's almost like the influencers I talk to, they're like the videos, whatever, it's like a cover for who they are. But I'm like, I want to know what's behind that. Like, I actually think a lot of people do too. They've just been socialized into viewing and liking and consuming things about people's bodies and stuff, but people want to know who you are. You just have to get them used to that, the feeling for that. So, you know, but I think that's like, I love what we're doing this. Great talks about music, influencing, and I think it's consistent what's going on, but we got to end right now. But I appreciate you so much, Suzie. It's fun because once we get going, you start rolling, man. You're like rolling with it. You're just like rolling, man. Like,
yeah, it's my brain, it just keeps going. I swear.
It just keeps going.
But topic makes me think of another thing. And
that's right. Oh, you're so good at it. Honestly, you're really good at it. Thank you for giving me the time. And I look forward to people for checking this out too, coming up here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again. And we will chat soon.
You got it. Bye.
Bye.